Hey folks, how's it going? Sam Luce here with Safari Pedals, bringing you a brand new plugin. This is the Sun Bear Bus Compressor. Now I'm going to delve into the controls in a bit more depth in a moment because there's a few more extra tricks up its sleeve, should we say, that I want to highlight to you. But first of all, let's just take a listen to a mix with this compressor on and then without it on and just hear what it can do. This compressor is great for adding some overall tie together and overall glue to the mix. It's fantastic on a master bus. It's also great on buses just of separate instruments, which I'm going to show you in a moment. The settings I've got here at the moment are kind of what I describe as a fairly aggressive kind of gelling together. We're really bringing up the bottom end. We're really tying stuff together, but we can be a little gentler, and there's a few ways that we can do this. So we've got all the familiar controls you'd expect from a compressor. We've got the threshold, release, ratio, and attack. The attack only goes down to 26, so it's not a super smashy, grabby compressor. It's always going to stay a little bit slower than you might expect from something like a FET compressor, just to help you in those master bus settings. The release can go super fast, down to 7 milliseconds and up to 183. The ratio can go down to 1.2 to 1, which is really useful in mastering scenarios, all the way up to 8 to 1 to really chop stuff off. We've got saturation, which is continuously variable from tube to tape. Then we've got a mid-side matrix as well, which I'm going to come on to in a moment. It's really, really useful. So we're currently in left-right mode, which you can see on the meter at the top. And this meter is also going to show you the gain reduction. So just check out the meter as I adjust these controls and you'll see how much gain reduction we're applying. We don't have to play. It's really giving it some juice. It's really giving it some low end. And this is in no small part down to the fact that I'm on the glue compressor and I've got wild enabled. So wild in true Safari Pedals fashion is just adding a bit of extra sauce to it. It's actually adding another compressor in parallel, which is giving it some real aggression, some real attitude. And the glue and gravity, this is interesting because it changes the tonality of the compressor. Glue is going to give you that real low mid depth, and clarity is going to come if you go to the gravity section. So we're really going between two different sounds here. We've got something with real clarity, really pristine on the gravity section, and then if we go to glue, we're still going to get something that sounds great, but it's going to be a bit more. It's going to be a bit more juice, a bit more in that low end. Just take a listen as I flick between the two. Especially in the top end of the vocals and the hi-hats, you're going to hear a little bit more of a pristine quality, a little bit more high end coming through when I go to gravity. We don't have to play by the rules, it's all right. We can pick and choose our own fights, it's all right. We don't have to make amends, forgive, forgo. Let us find the pathway home. So this is what I'd describe as a pretty aggressive kind of master bus compression, but it's doing the job. It's giving some real attitude and it's really giving some overall vibe to the thing. Let's take a listen though to something where we don't want to be quite as aggressive, but we want to utilize this mid-side matrix. So this one is more of an electronic track, something a bit more in probably the drum and bass kind of feel. Just take a listen to it for a moment. This is with the compressor on. Again, it's just adding a little bit of that gel in the bottom end. It's just tying things together. I'm on the mid-side matrix here though, and you'll see I'm kind of favoring the sides. If you take a look, we've got 27% on the mids and 73% on the sides. Just check out what happens when I take this mid-side matrix off. So we're actually going to be in left and right mode, in normal stereo mode. We lose some of the bottom end, and that's because the compressor is focusing too much on the kick. We'll take a look at the sidechain filter in a moment, but when we bring the mid-side matrix in, we're able to favor the sides more or favor the mid channel less. So we're cutting down on that low end where the kick is a bit less, and it's just allowing it to breathe a bit more. So as I go on to left and right, we lose that a little bit. Then when we go on to mid-side, it all comes back again. We're allowing things to breathe. So the kick drum and the real low end or the bass, etc., is in that mid channel. So by telling the compressor not to listen to the mid channel quite as much, we're just allowing a little more of it to come through. And even if I was on left and right mode, so you see left and right underneath this here, and bring the sidechain filter perhaps all the way up to 150, so it's not taking effect on that low end, it's not the same thing. The mid side is so important. So if I just go again between left and right with the sidechain all the way up, and then to the mid-side matrix, you're still going to hear this clamping down on the low end too much. But once I bring in the mid-side, that's fixed. All that low end just comes back. So in the previous example, I was using the saturation all the way over on the tube. This time I'm onto the tape, and the tape is going to be a little more aggressive on transients. It's going to cut those transients down a little more than the tube will. The tube is more of a solid low end kind of characterful thing. And I'm not actually using the clipper on this one. Previously, I was using the clipper, which is built in just to help you just cut down those transients in a way that we kind of do in the analog realm, and analog gear will kind of naturally do for us. But it's great to have that option in the digital world in a plugin. So let's just take this saturation from left to right. So all the way from tape, all the way through to tube. And this is continuously variable. As I bring this to the left, you'll see the percentages are changing. It's not just tape or tube. You can be anywhere in the middle. So as I go to that tube sound, we get more low end and the transients kind of come back a little bit. As I go to the tape sound, we cut off the transients just a touch more, and we don't get quite as much of that tube warmth. So I think for this track, Gravity is working great. Glue worked better for the previous track where we really wanted to bring up that bottom end. One thing that's worth mentioning here is that we can actually turn off the saturation. We can turn off the mid-side matrix. We can turn off the wild section, but we can also turn off the compressor. So just because it's a bus compressor, it doesn't mean that you can't use the saturation or the mid-side functionality completely separately. For example, if you wanted to just use this as a saturator, then I could turn off the compressor, bring it to the tube section, and bring it all the way or a little bit more up to the mid channel. So in this sense, I'm actually going to be saturating just the mid channel in a kind of a tube way. So this is going to bring loads more warmth and loads more kind of energy to that mid channel, which is where the kick, the vocal, and the bass is sitting. similarly, you can do that to the side channel. And this next example is a great way of showing you that. So here I've got the compressor doing some relatively gentle kind of settings. It's not absolutely smashing down on stuff. We've got the attack up at 300 milliseconds and the ratio is at 4.5 to 1, which is fairly aggressive for a master bus, but not in this scenario, because what we're doing is we're doing it all over to the sides. We're just affecting the sides and we're on the tube saturation, and we've got a clipper engaged as well. In the far left and right in the side channel, what we've got is we've got a backing vocal. And when I bring this compressor out, it sounds fine. But once I bring that compressor back in, it sounds like the backing vocals are right in our ears. We're saturating the side channel, we're compressing the side channel, we're really bringing it forward, and we're making it so that it goes from being a little far away to being right there. Check it out.
Checking me out, trying to figure out what I'm all about. Wondering if my love will make you scream and shout. If I don't at first, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm here to testify. Give me a chance, I'm satisfied. Got me for your heart and I blow your mind. Don't wanna mess me up, cause I'm one of a kind.
So you'll see here, I'm not actually applying any gain reduction. The compressor is on just for the overall feel, but the saturation is really what's going on here. We're just getting the saturation and we're putting it right over to the sides. We're adding so much in that side channel that the backing vocals just feel like they're right here. They're whispering right in your ear. And I kind of felt like, because I was adding a load to that side channel, that I was then just kind of missing a little bit of the drums. So on the drums, I've just got the Sun Bear again, just adding a bit of awesomeness. So let's take a listen again with that side compressor on, and then we'll bring the drums in with the compression and just hear how they bite through.
Checking me out, trying to figure out what I'm all about. Wondering if my love will make you scream and shout. If I don't at first, I'm gonna figure it out. Testify, give me a chance, I'm satisfied. Got me for your heart and I blow your mind. Don't wanna mess me up, cause I'm one of a kind.
So we're adding a decent amount of level on those drums, but that's kind of what we needed to do. We're bringing up the side channels, so overall the mid channel was feeling a little bit lackluster. Now we're saturating the sides, so we needed to tend to the mid channel as well. Doing that has just brought up the kick and the snare and the overall kind of crack of the drums a load more, and I feel like it's really benefited the track. So 3 different tracks there using the Sun Bear Bus Compressor. It's great for master buses, it's great for buses in general. The glue setting adds such a massive amount of warmth in the low end and in the low mids, and the clarity is going to come from using that gravity section. So if you apply gravity, it's going to be a little bit gentler, a little more pristine, and that wild section is going to give you a parallel compressor underneath and just give you a bit more attitude. Mid-side matrix and saturation are just the cherries on this cake that just add a little extra spice, a little extra vibe, and a clipper as well. It's the full package. You can check it out now at safaripedals.com, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.